Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sir Hanif. Today, I will teach you a topic about equation of ellipse, center at origin, with major axis along the x-axis. Okay, first we must know the definition for an ellipse. Okay, an ellipse is the set of all points x, y in the plane such that the sum of their distance from two fixed points is a constant. Okay, as you can see from this diagram, this is the diagram of an ellipse. Okay, I'm sorry because the diagram is quite small, but I will try my best to explain to you clearly. Okay. Each fixed point we call as focus, or in plural we call as foci. Okay, then every ellipse has two axes of symmetry, which is the longer one we call as major axis, and the shorter one we call as minor axis. Okay. Each endpoint on the major axis we call as vertex, or in plural we call as vertices, vertices of the ellipse. Okay, next, each endpoint on the minor axis we call co-vertex of the ellipse, or in plural we call co-vertices. Okay, then the center is the midpoint of both major and minor axis, and the axis is perpendicular at the center. And lastly, the foci always lie on the major axis, and the sum of the distance from foci to any point on the plane on the ellipse is greater than the distance between foci. Okay, next we move to how to derive the equation for an ellipse. Okay, as you can see from second diagram, I have labeled some coordinates. Okay, first, on the vertex on the right, I present the coordinate as A0, on the left as negative A0. Okay, then the focus on the right, the coordinate is C0. On the left, the coordinate is negative C0. So here the point of xy, D1 refer to the distance between coordinate negative C0 to xy. D2 refer to the coordinate of C0 to point xy. Okay, then we find the distance between coordinate negative C0 to A0. We get the distance equal to A plus C. Then the distance from C0 to A0, we get the answer is A minus C. When we sum these two distances, we get the answer is 2A. Okay, next. First of all, we must apply distance formula. As you can see from this equation, D1 plus D2 equal to square root of square bracket x minus negative c plus square bracket of y minus 0 plus square root of square bracket of x minus c plus the square bracket of y minus 0 equal to 2A. Okay, after we apply the distance formula, and the rest of derivations is about algebraic. Okay, after we simplify and have some calculations, we get x squared times open brackets a squared minus c squared close bracket plus a squared times y squared equal to a squared times open bracket a squared minus c squared close bracket. Then we apply the equation for ellipse in terms of b squared equal to a squared minus c squared. To substitute a squared minus c squared in this calculation, so we get x squared times b squared plus a squared times y squared equal to a squared times b squared. Then after some calculations, we get the answer for the standard form of equation of ellipse, which is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equal to 1. We must know that a is greater than b because a lie on the major axis and b lie on the minor axis. Okay, from this standard form of equation, we know that the length of the major axis is 2a. The coordinates for vertices of ellipse is plus minus a0. Then we know that the length for the minor axis is 2b, and the coordinates for co-vertices is 0 plus minus b. And lastly, the coordinates for foci are plus minus c0, with the equation for ellipse c square equal to a square minus b square. Okay, then here one question that I will solve to get by using the standard form that we get before. Okay, the question said, what is the standard form equation of the ellipse that has vertices plus minus x0 and foci coordinate plus minus 5, 0. Okay, as I mentioned before, the coordinates for vertices is plus minus a0. So we can say that a equal to 8 and a square equal to 64. Okay, second one, as I mentioned before, the coordinates for foci is plus minus c0. So here we can say that c equal to 5, c square equal to 25. Then by using the equation for an ellipse, which is c square equal to a square minus b square, so by applying this equation, we we can get the answer for b square, which is equal to 39. Okay, then we back to the standard form by substitute the answer for a square and b square in the final answer. So we get x square over 64 plus y square over 39 equal to 1. So that's the final answer for these questions. Okay, I hope that my explanation is clear and easy to understand. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.